is Hunter Phillips, and this is my hazard recognition site report. All of these examples and pictures were taken from a job site that I'm currently working on here in Gulfport. So let's get started. Our first example is 1926-405 subpart A. Flexible cords and cables shall be protected from damage, sharp corners, and projections shall be avoided. Flexible cords and cables may pass through doorways or other pinch points if protection is provided to avoid damage. So the first example, we have just a regular extension cord running over a piece of metal track. And this is light gauge framing, so the metal is very sharp. It's almost like a razor blade. And then the second example, we have the main power supply for the power panel running through the framing, sitting on top of the track. Both of these are very serious. This will be a lot worse. I'm pretty sure that this is 220 volts. So just a small amount of pressure, friction between the metal and the cord could cause it to cut and expose the wires. Also could run power through this metal framing. If it was to get the current running through it, it could travel down the framing and catch somebody down the line. So both of these are non-compliance. The worst part about this is somebody was just lazy and ran it through the wall. It took less time for them, and then whoever, possibly the electricians, ran the main power through the wall like that. It's just a simple fix, small amount of time, and could completely avoid this hazard here. So on to the next thing, we have 1926-701 subpart B, reinforcing steel. All protruding reinforcing steel onto and into which employees could fall shall be guarded to eliminate the hazard of impalement. First example we have is some pieces of rebar used for the concrete structure here. The 6 pieces are capped off and the other 4 are just exposed. This is in a high traffic area, so somebody could easily trip right here, fall onto this rebar, and it could be a very serious injury. The next thing here is a footer with 4 pieces of rebar sticking up that aren't capped. If you actually look off in the distance in these, there's footer. None of those are capped. And they're all just exposed. It's all people constantly walking back and forth. So this is non-compliance. Could be very serious, possibly resulting in death. The next example we have is 1917-43 subpart B. When a powered industrial truck is left unattended, load engaging means shall be fully lowered, controls neutralized, and brakes set. Unless the truck is in view within 25 feet of the operator, power shall be shut off. Wheels shall be blocked or curved if the truck is on an incline. So this example, we have a forklift. Few things wrong here. The forks are sitting about 3 feet off of the ground. Somebody could trip or get cut or whatever by these forks. The machine is running and the brakes are not engaged, and there's nobody to be found anywhere close to it. A couple things, it could roll away, run in or run over somebody. Like I said, somebody could trip over that, and it's just sitting there running if somebody accidentally put it in gear or whatnot. So this is a very serious thing for me, being on forklifts and seeing how people kind of just ignore heavy equipment and get used to being around it so much. It's definitely something to be cautious about, and always stay in eye contact or get eye contact with the operator before you go anywhere close to it. And even at that point, you need to be extra careful. Walking around, don't ever walk under the boom or in between the forks and the machine. Just a few things to avoid there. Next thing we have 1926-501 subpart B. Each employee on a walking or working surface 6 feet or more above a lower level where leading edges are under construction, but who is not engaged in the leading edge work, shall be protected from the following by a guardrail system, safety net system, or personal fall arrest system. If a guardrail system is chosen to provide the fall protection and a controlled access zone has already been established for leading edge work, the control line may be used in lieu of a guardrail along the edge of the parallels that parallels the leading edge. So here we have a knee wall, and this is the elevation is about 60 feet off the ground. So this knee wall is, I think, 2 feet high, and then, you know, on the other side, this is the picture on the other side of it to show how high you are up. There should be cable, angle iron with cable running through here to protect anybody, to, you know, keep from falling over the side. If you were working in this area, all this trash and whatnot, no, it's definitely not a good thing. The worst part about this is you can see where they actually attempted to, or at one time had, a guardrail put up, and the cables and the angle iron are just laying on the ground. So this would definitely be a huge violation, non-compliance, and again, another easy fix that could be avoided. Next thing, we have 1926-200 subpart E. Safety instruction signs, when used, shall be white with green upper panel with the letters to convey the principal message. Any additional wording on the sign shall be black letters on the white background. These are just some signs posted around the construction site stating construction zone. Hard hat and safety glasses are required at all times, and all visitors must report to the main office. This keeps anybody from just walking in, and then it's also kind of a way for the general contractor to protect themselves in case of an accident if somebody did just walk in and they weren't aware of it. So this is a good compliance example here. And the next thing we have is 1926-550 subpart A. Accessible areas within the swing radius of the rear of the rotating superstructure of the crane, either permanently or temporarily mounted, shall be barricaded in such a manner as to prevent an employee from being struck or crushed by the crane. So this crane is here. There is no flagging, signs, no tape or anything to identify the swinging radius of this crane. It is flying up structural steel for the building, and you know, you can see it's picking up here and then swinging around, so the radius comes all the way around here. If somebody was standing right here, for example, and the operator was flying up a piece of steel and he swung the machine around, there's no way for him to see who's behind him, and this counterweight is no telling how many tons. Very serious, heavy equipment related possible accident here, and this is a high traffic area for a lot of the contractors have materials out here and over here, so people, the only way through is to go right around this crane for the whole job site. So there's a lot of people constantly back and forth through this area, and again, well, sometimes you'll see like 4 poles coming off at each corner of the crane, and then they'll red tape around it too. That way you know the radius, the swing radius, and you don't walk close to it. And this is another simple fix. Something, a lot of these things I don't understand why they haven't been addressed. And this job's been going on for quite a while. I've been there since the very beginning, and it seems like it just gets worse. So anyways, these are my example. This is non-compliance. Sorry if I didn't say that, but so these are my examples. I hope this was helpful for everybody, and also forgot to have my citations here on the back. Everything came from OSHA's website, and